Self-contained motor vehicles bill. A bill designed to decrease or increase incidents of public defecation. As this bill passes its second reading in Parliament, many questions have arisen about the objectives of this bill and whether it will in fact meet those objectives. One thing is certain, beyond any doubt, the current government is determined to push it through and make it law at any cost and without any real consideration of what it will achieve or if it will do the opposite of what it is designed to do, i.e. decrease incidents of public defecation. I wanted to make it clear this bill is not law. Some groups are promoting it as to become law. In fact, there's still a long way to go. It is still less than 50% of the way through the legislative process required to make it law. It's only made it to the second reading. It's still got a full house, that's the whole Parliament committee reading, and it's still got a third reading. It is far from being passed. Current voting on the bill shows 100% support from Labour, with their majority 63 votes, further supported by the Greens 10 votes. Other parties have either opposed the bill totally or abstained from voting on it. I expect and hope that the short explanatory video will provide an insight into the insanity of this bill and the lack of any logical thought by those supporting it. Number one. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Point number one. While Section 32, subsection 2 of the Summary Offences Act remains that, as long as you believe you will not be seen defecating in public, you have a legally provided and legislated defence that can and it will undermine everything that this bill attempts to prevent. This section of the Summary Offences Act should have been the government's first point of call to address public defecation issues, and given a few years to monitor the results of any amendments prior to the current bill seeking to change 4 Acts of Parliament and over 30 sections of legislation or any other such like bill. While this government has not and has no wish to change its defence criteria, it remains available to everyone, including freedom campers, to defend public defecation infringements. Note that while the Summary Offences Act applies to everyone on public land 24/7, including freedom campers, the legislation intended to be amended under this bill only applies when actually camping. Responsible Campers Association have been publicly criticised for promoting amendments to this legislation by the promoter of certified self-containment. Number 2. If you cannot meet the defence criteria provided in law, the fine for not having a fitted toilet is a proposed $400, down from a proposed $1,000. While the fine for defecating in public is a mere $200, making it cheaper to poop in public than to not have a fitted toilet, even if you camp with a camp toilet that you intend to use. I can't imagine anyone not being able to meet the defence criteria provided, like who poops in front of others knowingly. 3. As Todd McClay, the National Party, pointed out, you can have someone with a fitted toilet that does not use it, and that's fine under this legislation, this proposed bill. But if somebody has a camp toilet that they actually use, then that actually attracts a fine. Notwithstanding, according to Stuart Nash himself, less than 3/4 of fitted toilets are actually used. In all fairness, we should also explain that the research conducted to date focused on toilet use on board or inside of RVs. So it failed to capture toilets used in conjunction with RVs while camping but positioned outside of the RV, as in using toilet tents or other privacy type shelters. People, I suggest, should be more concerned with the low reported use of fitted toilets because they cannot be moved from inside the RV into toilet tents, etc. So we ask, what are these people using? The roadsides? The bushes? Who knows? Point number 4. Banning some types of toilets to prevent public defecation will most likely increase the problem as more and more people have nowhere to go. There is no evidence that the issue is specific to Freedom Campers. And in fact, we've all seen public council consultation processes into Freedom Camping bylaws where they've pictured piles of human turds and toilet paper in sand dunes on beaches, etc., with absolutely no tangible link to Freedom Campers. When considered as a whole, Freedom Campers, with many having their own toilets, or at least knowing to bury their poop, are the least likely ones to be seen as being the problem. In summary, comments made by some supporters of the bill during the second reading showed a distinctive lack of any understanding of the real issues in suggesting that plenty of dock sites had toilets where Freedom Campers could go. The problem is a nationwide shortage of toilets. And, listen to this, if the $27 million given out in funding under the Tourism Infrastructure Funding to date was spent on toilets, it would actually provide for a dual, dry vault, low maintenance toilet unit every 12 kilometres for the whole length of State Highway 1 from Cape Reinga to the Bluff. More on that specific issue will follow at a later date. I suspect many can now understand why responsible campers objected to this bill. Matters of overzealous council wardens, etc., have to also be considered when giving councils control of Land Transport New Zealand and Land Information New Zealand land, which is often used by fatigued drivers. In the last year alone, in 2 accidents, there was 11 deaths caused by fatigue. Is it really any wonder the Select Committee could not decide on an outcome from public submissions? Responsible campers nationwide do have a wish the Select Committee had sent the bill back to an inquiry, as was within their ability to do so, and something that we, along with a number of outdoor recreational groups, have been calling for a number of years. Responsible Campers Association's own education and accreditation program has none of these types of issues, while being freely available to all Freedom Campers as defined in legislation. It also removes any need to legally define homeless people sleeping in cars and tents from Freedom Campers, or even truckies sleeping in their trucks while going about their normal business. Education with evidence of understanding is the correct way forward for responsible freedom camping in New Zealand, not focusing on the facilities inside an RV who are best minority group of freedom campers as defined in legislation. I hope this video has been useful. We hit 9.5 minutes. If there's any questions, many of RCAI or Responsible Campers Association Facebook groups are open to the public to ask questions and to seek answers. We're always too willing to answer questions from anyone, be it on those groups, whether it be a member of the public, councils, with other stakeholders, including government ministers. I wish you well on a somewhat horrible day in Wellington.